Well, what was very surprising about the protests in Brazil that brought to the street 1.5 million people in June were two key features, in my opinion. The first one is that this happened in the middle of significant prosperity, 10 years of prosperity. The second feature is the main drivers of these protests were the emerging new middle class. When you have a country that has been growing fast, in which real wages are increasing, in which unemployment has reached record low levels, you wouldn't expect such a significant amount of protests. And this is what exactly happened in Brazil. Indeed, in terms of economic growth and prosperity, unemployment, the country is nearly in full employment. Real wages have increased over the last 10 years. In terms of the participation from a social class point of view, it was the emerging middle class, the main beneficiary. So it's significant that this happened and is surprising. But nonetheless, the reason why this emerging middle class took to the street was because although they definitely benefit from economic prosperity, at the same time they pay heavy taxes and they are fed up with very bad provision of public services. And this is what explained basically this protest in June. Well, the heavy use of social media in this protest was a significant new feature. There is no question that this time, unlike previous protests, there was a new element in the protest as a logistic tool to organize protests. The Brazilians are heavy users of Facebook, heavy users of Twitter, and both of those were used heavily during the protests, either to brainstorm ideas, but also logistically to organize different demonstration in different cities. And it worked like a clock. People was able to move to one place to another on time, and they took by surprise the authorities and the security forces. So what are the implications of this protest for Brazil going forward? I will sum up this on three main areas. The first one, the presidential election in 2014. The second one, the development and investment in infrastructure for the World Cup and for the Olympic Games. And the third one, the likely impact of this on policymaking. Regarding the first one, the presidential election, there is no question that the protest damaged the popularity of President Rousseff. It plummeted from 70% before June to 30% at the late of that month. It has recovered a little bit now, but it doesn't mean that she is out of the race or she doesn't have a chance. In fact, the opposition parties were also targeted by the protesters. Congress is not as popular as Rousseff, and the establishment in general has not a very high rating generally. So she still has a chance to recover and win the election. Secondly, infrastructure could be a beneficiary from this protest because one of the main grievances of the protesters was the poor provision of public services, particularly urban transportation. The government is giving a special priority to urban transportation, so we're going to see an acceleration of infrastructure investment in Brazil, and this would be beneficial for the country and beneficial for the World Cup and the Olympic Games. Thirdly, the implication for policymaking is not going to be significant, but we would like to highlight the fact that most likely the government is going to increase public spending in the run-up to the election in 2014. Therefore, it's going to be a relaxation of fiscal discipline, but not significantly large. It means that the macroeconomic stability that has characterized Brazil, it will likely stay in place, although the fiscal accounts are going to be, or the fiscal deficit is going to be wider, but not by a large margin.